To take the set of panels that we've produced and get them cut, there are two possible jobs that we need to do. One is to think about arranging them to optimize fabric usage. So this rectangle may represent the fabric width that you have available. This is your roll of fabric, and we want to put these panels as efficiently as possible into that shape. That process is called nesting, and nesting is an additional add-in license on mPanel production. It's an additional cost which can be arranged through your mPanel dealer. Nesting is a two-stage process. The first thing that we do is we arrange the panels, we call it vertically, but really what it is, the panels are arranged to where the panels themselves, although they stack vertically, are all essentially horizontal, and that gives us a starting point for the nest. And we would then select the panels and the sheet that it needs to go into. We have some other ways of nesting as well, but we'll just show this simplest way. And we would then just nest those panels, and they would be put into the sheet in the optimum spacing for maximum fabric usage, with some restrictions on the amount that they could be rotated around to where the grain of the fabric direction was essentially preserved. Once we have those panels, I'll just make a copy of those over here. The panels now need to be modified to suit the particular plotter that you are, particular cutter or plotter that you are using. And different cutters and plotters have different requirements as to what the layer names are, what the colours of the individual layers are. And so for that reason this has to be set up to suit your individual plotter. Of course, for common plotter manufacturers we can give guidance on what those need to be. During the output stage, the large identifying number in the middle of the panel is stripped out, although of course the smaller panel identification numbers which are in the seams are left in. Many plotters are exceedingly slow when plotting text, and so we have a conversion to an mPanel vector font which will change that panel into will change the text into something which will plot out much quicker. There are various options here. One of the most used option perhaps is to send the polylines directly to a DXF file, and that allows the direct production of the file, which is then to be given to the cutter to produce, so that we can see it on the drawing. Instead of that, in this case, I'll put it polylines into the drawing, and we'll specify that the cut line that is needed on this particular plotter is cyan, and everything else can be coloured blue. So for this I would now just select those, output the panels, delete the old ones. We can see the cut line is identified, everything else is drawn as blue, and the text, that text happens to run into a line. Let me look at a different one. The text is transferred into a vector font, which, there's one which doesn't run into a line, is transferred into a vector font which can be drawn out fairly quickly by the program.